The mirror here is just a pretty incredible draw, to be completely honest. Draw the Elsa, play the mirror, activate the mirror, draw a ink. And questy questy. Just like every trading card game and every Disney story before it, Lorcana does need to have a big bad, the best deck in format, the deck everyone knows will have a target on its head at any major competitive event. In the early days of Lorcana, this is falling into the grasps of Ruby Amethyst Control, a deck designed to keep your opponent in check in the early game and then slam the door either by grinding out additional card advantage or by playing big, hard to answer threats. The list we're playing today comes from Jonathan Ball's second place list at the PPG Lorcana event and was featured very recently in my article over on TCGplayer.com, which you can check out in the description box down below if you like. We're all the way up to 67 cards to avoid decking out in the mirror matches where we're drawing so many cards, but it also means we have the ability to fit everything in and make sure we're not soft against any decks we expect to see in the room. The true power of this deck is just that it kind of does everything well. It keeps early threats in check with Archimedes and Gaston. It can generate piles of card advantage through Magic Mirror and friends on the other side, and it can clean up just about any problem it finds with Maleficent Monstrous Dragon, Elsa Spirit of Winter, and of course the all-star board clearing Be Prepared. This deck is super skill intensive and you can definitely be punished for making mistakes early on in the game, so do make sure you're getting your practice in with this one if you find yourself taking down a tournament anytime soon. I think it's incredible the metagame has already evolved so much that not only do we know this deck is good, but it's building itself in a way where it's prepared for the mirror match. 67 cards is quite the statement, and these broom loops that we find ourselves able to do that we'll see in some of the games following this breakdown are very, very interesting. You're looking to use Magic Broom Bucket Brigade and Mickey Mouse Wayward Sorcerer alongside White Rabbit's Pocket Watch to be able to rush in your booms repeatedly, being able to rebuy your other brooms, your Elsas, any other haymakers you find yourself in need of, while churning through your deck courtesy of the magic mirrors that you have in play. These loops can get even more in depth courtesy of the large version of Aladdin, often swinging lore back in your favour in accompaniment next to the shield. There's still so much room for this deck to grow, and I look forward to seeing how it evolves, but for now, enjoy a small handful of games including a grindy mirror match to get a feel for how Ruby Amethyst plays. If you haven't already, please do consider subscribing to the team over here at Beyond the Inkwell. We're having a really good time making Lorcana content, and if you're enjoying it too, we'd love for you to let us know. Drop a like on this video, leave a comment below about how you feel about Ruby Amethyst. With that said, enjoy the games. I'll see you soon. Alrighty, let's take a look at what we're working with. This hand is definitely got a lot of friends in it. This Mickey's going back. I don't mind keeping double Archimedes. I'll keep one friends. One friends, one Maleficent. Seems pretty good. Decent chunk of early game. Ooh, the Rafiki is fruity. Okay, a Gaston from our opponent. We are looking at a mirror match. Sell in, folks. It is time to take it slow. Gonna not establish the Archimedes here because it doesn't challenge the Olaf particularly well, and also I would rather just ink these cards so that I can keep my other haymakers. My opponent is on a smaller deck than me. They are on the normal 60. We are on the lovely 67 card version in this game, which means we should be more fit to grind a long game than they are. So again, Archimedes. We're really not worried about our opponent questing for small amounts with this Olaf because it really shouldn't be the deciding factor of this game very often. We can just catch it with a Rafiki next turn or sweep it up whenever we see fit. Opponent will Maleficent, sure thing. Yeah, it definitely makes me lean towards jamming the Rafiki over the Maleficent because I would rather be able to trade for the Maleficent again on the following turn, get my value from Rafiki where possible. Holding this cauldron, by the way, because I don't want to extend it at this point in time. We don't mind being patient with that effect. But we'll keep the cards flowing. Inks and Maui, sure thing. Alright, so we can take our 2 for 1. Get this Maleficent off the table. It's fine by me. Ink another Archimedes. And we will just Maleficent here ourselves. Draw a card. The slow and steady control mirror. Opponent is currently grinding out more card advantage than us, unfortunately. These friends on the other side are doing some work. Okay, opponent is playing smaller Elsa to be able to shift onto. The mirror is a big deal. The mirror makes us kind of sad. Alright, let's get our friends on, I suppose. Ah, we find our own mirror. Very nice. So I think this is just going to be Ink the Befuddle and go Cauldron into Mirror. Take a cheeky peek. I'll keep the Elsa, I think. Seems good. Nice slow and steady game. Opponents inked several Mauis now, which is good to know for future broom loop scenarios. They do choose to shift that Elsa. Okay, we're looking for a Be Prepared. That is what we would like at this point, to clean up that Elsa for very little work. To be fair, Dragon's Fire would do the job too. Looking for a little bit of removal to stop our opponent running away on the lore count. So let's take a look at the Cauldron. We'll keep that Dragon's Fire. That's very much what we're talking about. Am I just sending the Maui? The Maui's a bit too good here, isn't it? Okay, let's ink the Aladdin. Send in our welcome friend. Crush this Elsa's hopes and dreams. And say go. So actually ever so slightly ahead here, but in exchange for being ahead here, we are down 6 lore, which I think is okay in this matchup. Opponent will ink a Maleficent 2, so they're also down 1. I believe we've also inked 1. Drawing with the mirror. We find the Dragon's Fire. That's fine. Let's take a look with this Cauldron. What would I prefer here? Interesting. I prefer to keep my brooms late, if possible. I think I'm going to put the Maui on top. Let us ink a Mickey. Inking the Mickey there is a little rough for later broom loops, but I think it's probably correct. I'm just going to draw a card with a mirror here, trade these Maleficents off, hold the Maui, play my first broom. And we will select friends in this case early. This is kind of the first broom, and probably the only broom I think we can waste. Not waste per se, but you know what I mean. We can't ink anymore. And we're targeting like a non-Elsa, non-broom, non-Mickey style card. Opponent will slam the Aladdin. We are probably going to have to take care of that with a little bit of Dragon's Fire. Start on the Cauldron. I would rather the friends in this case. So let's ink the Maui this time. I could just freeze it and punch it. That's probably better, honestly. This might be a little loose, but I think I prefer getting value out of my Maui. And again, I'll play around the Be Prepared as best I can by aggressively trading for the Maleficent. So we're slightly behind on cards here. We are... Oh, I guess we're even, right, if we count the Cauldron and the Elsa. Even on cards, behind 8 lore, but we do have the board. Opponent will Dragon's Fire, sure thing. Into an Aladdin, sure. Well, we kept the Aladdin turned off, which is pretty sweet. So, do we just establish our own Aladdin? Are we drawing cards? We start on the Cauldron. I will take a Be Prepared in this case. Putting a Pocket Watch at the bottom there is a little scary, but it's probably okay. Let's draw some cards. Ooh, that's interesting. I think I would rather just ink this Goofy than play it. Leave the Aladdin alive a turn. Grind some cards. I'm playing with fire a little bit here by letting my opponent continue to chip away at the lore count. But I think we'll be okay. I just don't think it matters that much in this matchup early. So. There is a shifted Aladdin, which will quest for a little bit more. Okay, so we just Dragon's Fire this always. Get it off the table. We will Cauldron take a peek. I would rather the Friends be on the top. And in that case, I would rather just Maleficent, I think, so that I can sing this for free next turn. And I'll ink an Aladdin, even though I would rather not. Feeling good. Opponent will start drawing cards with their mirror. Inks their third Maui. It's good to know about. Jafar. Okay. Jafar's not one you see super often. I'll take another Maleficent here over the Aladdin. I think we'll have Maleficent sing. Draw us some cards. We find an Elsa. That's fine. I'm just going to slam the dragon here. Eat the Jafar. And I think I'm inking this Maleficent. Feeling kind of cozy. Not gotten ourselves to the point in the game yet where we're all about them broom loops. Opponent's on the version that has cheap 2-cost Dr. Faciliers, so I imagine they have the more expensive one as well. Do we care about that much right now? Not massively. Cauldron. I would rather take the Be Prepared, I think. Let's draw that. Let's ink this Aladdin, play the other Aladdin. And if my opponent challenges this Maleficent, I just get to punch the Dr. Facilier, which I think I'm okay with. Cauldron kind of doing work here. I'm a big fan of Ursula's Cauldron in these decks. I think he does a lot of heavy lifting in these pseudo-mirror matches when you've got a lot of cards you're not looking for, a lot of cards you are, a lot of cards you'd rather save for later. But I'll ink the small Elsa, no worries. Dragon's Fire, the Aladdin, that's pretty good here. More Dr. Faciliers. We're going to quest. Okay. Interesting. Let's take a peek with the Cauldron. I will keep a broom on top because I have a broom in my graveyard. I genuinely think I'm going to Be Prepared these two away. It's just much cleaner for me. take care of these. And then the question is, do I ink and draw? Or play the Aladdin? I think I'm just inking, drawing, playing the broom here. Which is always going to target my other broom. So I can start getting my broom loops ready to go. But I will ink the Gaston, sure thing. Into a Dr. Facilier, okay. Well, we would like that to go away. We do have enough to draw a card and Maleficent. I will be keeping this Ursula on top. Bombing the second Pocket Watch is actually very scary. I'm not sure we're actually going to get to full broom loops this game, though, so I think I'm taking the Ursula. I will draw, ink the Jafar, and then throw this Maleficent at this Dr. Facilier. It's kind of, these mirror matches have been great because there's actually genuinely so much to think about. Even though you feel like you're very far ahead in a spot like this, there's a lot of decisions, a lot of ways your opponent can get back into the game. The mirrors grinding cards is just kind of great. But with the Rafiki here is pretty good. Ooh, Mickey. I will start on the Cauldron, of course. We'll take... I think we'll just take the Goofy. Am I inking this Mickey? Probably not. So I imagine I'm inking the Goofy. Yeah, sure. Then we will Ursula. Activate the ability, draw a Mickey, that's good to know. And we'll quest with this Maleficent. Do we want to play you? Probably not. Gonna hold this for the next broom that comes back around if I can. But it will Elsa us, sure thing. Gonna lock down both of our big units, that's fine. No Pocket Watch in play here means we can't really punish this. Let's take a peek. Take the Dragon's Fire. I think we just return fire and freeze with an Elsa. Draw with the mirror. And I don't think I'm inking anything in this hand. Gonna pass. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying the intricacies of this mirror match so far as much as I have. I think there's a lot of moving pieces, a lot of things to consider. Opponent will burn a Be Prepared. I'm fine with that. That's okay. I'm the one who's ahead on cards. Draws with the mirror, passes. We do find a Pocket Watch. Very nice. That's going to help out quite a lot going forward. I'll keep the other Aladdin on top of the deck. Push the Gaston. Play the Pocket Watch. Draw a card. And play an Aladdin. Is this better than playing the Mickey? Probably not, actually. Yeah, go on. Let's play the Mickey. Get ourselves questing with a big evasive thing. Opponents threw quite a lot of their Dragon's Fires, too. 1, 2, 3. At least 3. Maleficent is basically a Dragon's Fire. That counts. It's roughly the same thing. Dr. Facilier, sure thing. So I think we're probably inclined to just clear this. We'll take a peek with the Cauldron. Another mirror is pretty cool. The shield's also pretty good, though. We do need a shield for broom loops eventually. We can sneak it in this turn, too. I think I would rather have the other mirror close, though. So let's Draw with Maleficent. Draw with a mirror. Am I inking an Aladdin here? I'm probably just going to ink Friends, play the other mirror. Seems fine. So there are 2 pocket watches and a shield towards the bottom of our deck, so we've got to be a little careful about how we set ourselves up for the long game, if we have to. But will Maleficent down Maleficent. That's fine by me. We draw another Be Prepared. Let's take a cheeky peek with the Cauldron. I'll keep Friends. We will Dragon's Fire the Dragon, which does seem a little bit unfair, to be completely honest. Probably shouldn't be allowed to do that. Draw the Friends, play an Aladdin. Pass to my opponent. Very nice. If you haven't already, folks, and you are enjoying this style of Lorcana content, do please consider smashing that subscribe button for us. Would be much appreciated. We are only just getting started over here at Beyond the Inkwell, and we would love to see you for more things Lorcana in the future. There's that 4th Dragon's Fire taking out the Aladdin, I accept. Friends will draw some cards. Finds the shield, sure thing. We find a Dragon's Fire, even surer thing. Cheeky peek with the Cauldron. I wish I had just fired the Friends on the other side, but how were we supposed to know? Sure, let's draw some more cards. I actually will ink this befuddle, which is quite funny, actually. And we will play our boy. Once again in the form of the Aladdin. I don't think we're likely to get ourselves set up to be pocket watching this against our current opponent. So I am fine to just kind of run it out. But will Aladdin strip a lore away from us? And Elsa, sure thing. Locks the Aladdin down as much as it possibly can. We find another mirror, sure. This Cauldron has been doing so much work, by the way. So much work. Let's take out the Elsa. Draw a card. Am I drawing another card or playing the mirror? I think I'm playing the mirror. Holding my stuff. Look at all these items. My hands can barely contain all these items. Opponent will quest and then be prepared? No. Yes? Maybe. Unclear. Drawing cards first. Is my board going up in smoke? Yes, it is. There it is. We found it. We also found a Mickey. Mickey's pretty good. Sure. How many people prepared are we through now? We are through 1, 2. So opponent has 2 left. We are going to go Mickey into Queen into draw a card here after we Cauldron, of course. I'll keep the Aladdin, actually. I think it's probably better than the Maui in this spot. Just continuing to use all of our ink every turn. Grind advantage with these mirrors. Establish enough threats to force a Be Prepared, but not burning too many to get punished by Be Prepared. Big fan. There is the third one. 1 left to go through. Inking a pocket watch is good to know, honestly. Cauldron, cheeky peek. There is a broom. We'll be taking the broom. We'll go Aladdin. Steal a lore back. Draw a card. Do I wait on this broom? Maybe. Draw another inkable? No? Kind of got punished. Alright, I'm not waiting on the broom, in which case. We will broom. We will select. We will go to our graveyard. And we will go target our broom. keep those flush in our deck. We have the Mickey available if our opponent plays anything. Not that we'd be able to do too much with the broom while it's unexerted anyway. This game very much just came down to raw efficiency. Mirrors, getting to work, grinding cards, showing people who's boss. Didn't even get to the point where we had... Well, we might still get there, to be honest. But did not get to the point where we had to start looping brooms. Opponent just fell so far behind on cards. Look at this. Alright. Let's go. Let's not waste our stuff. Let's just... Elsa here. We'll give the Elsa rush with the pocket watch. We will bunk the Elsa into the Rafiki. We'll play the Mickey. We will bump the broom. Bump the Aladdin. We will be picking... Yep. And that's more than enough for our opponent to call it quits, having seen the brooms starting to get to work. There we go. That is roughly how the Ruby Amethyst mirror match has been playing out for me so far. Very sweet. Alright, opening hand goodness. We will throw back the dragons, throw back the queen and the pocket watch. We'll keep the Tibbs Maui Rafiki. Okay. Hand's not bad. Hand is not bad at all. Opponent will ink a Maleficent. Okay. Will I need Gaston in this game? Maybe. I think I'm always running out of one here, is the truth. I think the Maleficent decks are likely to be more aggressively slanted if they're interested in playing Maleficent. Ah, we are Amber Sapphire. Very cool. It's not a deck I've played against very much, actually. So I think I would rather just ink the Gaston, if that's the case. We'll quest with Archimedes. Don't mind letting our opponent accelerate here a smidge. I find with grammar, it's an interesting decision as to whether you let them kind of force banish this if they really want to. With it being Amber Sapphire, I'm actually not super familiar with what could be punishing me on turn like 5. I guess this lets them get to 6 ink given the Mickey, which maybe is something I should have been considering. They are now fairly far ahead of us. I think we are just establishing a Rafiki because we haven't got an awful lot else going on currently. Can challenge the Mickey next turn, but opponent is already on 6 ink, which is slightly terrifying. So we're an aerial deck. Okay. Grabs 1 jump ahead, sure. Very cool. Another grammar. So yeah, I actually don't feel too bad about giving my opponent the ability to exert their grammar, because evidently they had all the ink in the world anyway. Okay, so Rafiki can take care of this. That's fine. I think we are just in the inking Aladdin camp. And again, I'm fine to run this Rafiki out while I have the spare resources to do so. Because I don't really think there's too much of a punish on the other side. Then again, I'm not 100% sure what my opponent is up to, so maybe there is. I expect a lot of Hades, but that's about all I can expect, really. Part of your world, sure. Grabs the Mickey. I think I'm okay with that. You've already accelerated, like, absolute buckets. I'm not entirely sure I care about another one. Look at the ink disparity here, by the way. I would be way more worried about this if my opponent was like steel Sapphire, because of like a whole new world. But I'm not feeling that fear currently. We'll punch the aerial. Opponent just like they are up 6 ink, which is insane. But they're not exactly doing anything particularly terrifying currently. I think we draw cards here. And now we'll pretty happily ink a Maui, because we have a backup. Off you go. I'm scared of what the Haymaker is. I wonder what the payoff in this spot is. What are we playing towards? Part of your world again. What do we pick? Okay, that makes more sense. Picking up aerial. Maybe it's a song. Is there a song I'm forgetting that's like absolutely huge? You missed on it anyway, which is again kind of fine for me. So we'll ink this Mickey, I think. Apologies again for the ambulance behind me if you can hear it. I do live on a hospital route, which sometimes makes it a little hard to get all the background noise out and away. I'll quest with this Rafiki. And we'll say go. Robin Hood. Robin Hood's a good one. Good chance we are just blowing a gasket here and throwing the be prepared next turn, though. Maybe not? I think maybe yes. Feels like it's probably just correct most of the time to clear this up and be so far ahead on cards. Pretty happy with this. There is that Maleficent. Alrighty, so we are probably more interested in keeping Aladdin, I think, over Mali in this spot. I think I'm probably more interested in both of them than Mickey, though. So Mickey's going to get inked, and we'll get our freeze on. Lock these down. Opponent does just pass, so we are going to go on the Ink Gaston blow a hole in Maleficent plan. With Maleficent, which seems somewhat anti-flavorful. Get our quest on, start turning the corner here. Very cool. Mr. Smee coming down. Don't see too much of this one. Interesting choice in a deck like this. The mirror here is just a pretty incredible draw, to be completely honest. Draw the Elsa, play the mirror, activate the mirror, draw a ink. And questy. Very much doing what Amethyst Ruby does best, just closing that door after it's kept you in control. Rapunzel here, very good though. That's a pretty fantastic one to find. Draws 3 cards. Let it go, if I must. Into the Inkwell, Maleficent goes. We've got friends on the other side, do we? Well, we always start on the card draw because that gives us options. Yeah, pretty sure we are just going to be jamming the Elsa. Freezy. Questy. I think I'll hold the Jafar for now. Game on board for us next turn if our opponent cannot clear these Elsas away. It's feeling pretty good. The Stitch isn't bad. Gonna draw some more cards. They needed some of these earlier. They needed some of these to catch up earlier on with all this card draw. Feels like it is just too little too late in this spot. I have not forgotten you, but thank you for asking. We'll keep the Aladdin in this spot. Ding dong. Very smooth and buttery. Very nice.